Before the podcast begins, a quick disclaimer that due to the current political events, we will be talking about more serious topics, but we tend to deviate from the conversation and get sidetracked. We do not mean to make light of the situation. There will be links in the description that include a Google Doc on places to donate and sign petitions, as well as a video to watch if you are unable to donate. Do remember to turn off ad block. All of these are for the Black Lives Matter movement. Thank you for listening.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Double Rainbow Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Ewing, and this is my co-host,
Yasmin Henderson.
We're back from a very long break. We didn't even mean to take a break.
Long break.
It was just our project had ended, and we just stopped doing it. But we're back for this very special episode because there's a lot going on in the world right now.
There's a lot that's happened since our last episode, which went up sometime in February or March?
I could not tell you. Honestly, I could not tell you.
Sometime
it was in February. It was in February because we had to present in February or something.
You're right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so our last episode went up in February. So in the past, 3 months?
It's June now.
It was June.
February was 4 months?
So in the past 4 months.
Yeah.
Dang, it's been 4 months.
I know. That's crazy.
I feel like it's been a lot longer.
Yeah. Well, if you've been living under a rock and we are your only source of news,
in that case, I'd be honored.
Yeah, I'd be honored. Source. And I personally think you're crazy
because we haven't posted.
In 4 months. You probably think the world had ended. But no, it's close to ending.
It's just getting there.
Yeah. So on top of just everything that's happening right now, we have the coronavirus, right?
Yeah.
The start of all of our problems in 2020.
No, the start was World War III.
Oh yeah,
that was the start.
Yeah, that was the start. And then coronavirus, of course, quarantined for 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And the sad passing of George Floyd, which started the entire thing. And that's what our episode's about. It's gonna be a heavy episode. But we did want to do this episode because we felt like, personally, I felt like I wanted to hear Yasmin's opinion about it because honestly, I haven't seen Yasmin since the end of school.
I haven't seen you since March.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in months. Yeah. So I honestly swear to God wanted to do this episode when Karima brought it up. Mm-hmm. I was like, hell yes, because I wanted to know
I was like,
your thoughts. Yeah.
I'm like, my pals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, I kind of want to I'm debating a lot on sharing my opinion on my Snapchat story, and then I don't know. I'll record it, and then I'll be like, I don't know, and I'll delete it.
Yeah,
just because I just feel like people on Snapchat don't really care.
Yeah,
because I don't know, I'll people watch it, but it's I can imagine most skip past it because I skip past all.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know these people.
Yeah, most people just skip past,
Yeah, because I don't even know.
I'm guilty of it.
I watch my friends', but everybody else, which is majority of the people I have on Snapchat, I just skip it because I don't know you people.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah. So we're about to get into it. The beginning of everything's happening, all the riots and all the protesting is it was obviously a build up.
Yeah.
But I think what set it off was the video of the cop killing George Floyd, which is really hard to watch.
Yeah, they showed a clip of it on the news, and I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, and it's hard, watching everything, all the snippets of videos and protests and people getting hurt is just really hard. And I'm half white, so I feel like it's not if you don't look at me too long, I can pass as a white person. You know, I can pass as a white person. But I do understand not specifically what black people go through. I understand what Mexicans go through and Hispanic families and everything with families being torn apart. This is a whole nother thing. Yeah. You have to just fear of just walking in the street.
Yeah.
And that breaks my heart, We've been friends for so long, and I don't want... This is supposed to be a country where we should feel safe to walk in the street. Mm-hmm. And there's a big majority of people in the United States that have to fear for their life just walking down the street, and that's messed up.
Yeah, it sucks. And it's and for a while, well, not for a while. Oh my god, dude, days feel like weeks. It wasn't even that long.
I know.
But for like a day or two, I guess was really what was happening. I was looking at Twitter, and it was mostly just because the people that I followed, most of it was like good and like not racist people, and it was like more Black people like retweeting things about like donations and whatnot and like what's happening. And then sometimes now I'll go to the comments and people are like, "Oh, lives matter."
Yeah.
Then like I don't know, I've responded to a couple people, and like the cool thing though is at least from like the people that I've responded to, none of them have really turned into like arguments. It was more just like debates on like two different perspectives. And that was cool. Like there's like one time where me and like one person, we had like a mutual agreement. Like we're both like had different perspectives of like the riots. But at one point we're both like, yeah, but dude, it does suck either way. And I was like, yeah, I agree. And that's kind of where we left it. I'm like, that's cool. But there's just this one person real quick. There's like this one person on Twitter, and okay, so somebody had said something, and I'm like, about like the riots going too far. I'm like, the murder of an innocent Black person is going too far. Then somebody was like, more Black people kill more white people than vice versa. And I'm like, are you trying to justify it? And they're like, no, it's not justifiable. I'm just saying you're kind of two-faced. And I'm like, and so I looked up facts. I fact-checked them. I'm like, actually, more white people kill more white people.
Yeah.
It's not. And then they're like, no. But, like, they're like, I get that. But, like, of the, like, small percentage of, like, the Black people that kill white people and vice versa, it's mainly Black people that kill white people of, like, that small percentage. I'm like, okay, your point is, do you remember slavery and lynching? Like,
yeah, right?
Like, that's so cool. I'm so glad you know that statistic. But what does that have anything to do with the riots?
Yeah.
This has...
Exactly.
It's just...
Yeah.
And then, like, they responded, and I only read the first sentence, which was, like, slavery is irrelevant, and I, like, stopped reading it. I'm like, I'm not responding.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ. So the first point of this podcast is riots and what they stand for. So, I was, like, before the podcast, I was looking on Twitter, and I was, like... There was this one tweet, because, you know, everything's really confusing right now. You're getting so many opinions on social media that you're like, I don't know which one, not necessarily the right one, but which one I believe as well. And, I just saw an opinion on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, actually, that's what's up. You know, like, that's a good opinion. And I like that, and that's valid, and I'm going to stick with that opinion. And it was that right now, what we should be focusing on is correcting police's wrongs, and that's the one thing that we're trying to stand for or people are trying to stand for is that policemen have been doing wrong, and we want them to be prosecuted, and we want them to pay for their
pay for their crimes.
Yeah,
like
pay for their
everybody
crimes.
Else
Yeah,
has
exactly.
To.
And one thing that makes me so mad is that people of color will get years and years and years in prison, will get life sentences in prison, and white people will get 3 years for raping a woman.
And then they can pay bail.
And then
they're out.
And, like, someone of color did something, like, what? Like
my uncle robbed a... my uncle robbed a bank. And, I'm sorry, it's funny now to me.
Yeah.
Overall, I guess it's not too funny, but it's funny now. But, like, my uncle, he robbed a bank twice. And so, he served a total of 30 years in prison. In total, for robbing a bank. And it's, like, police officers have, like, killed, literally, like, murdered people. Yeah. And they get fired.
Exactly.
And then there's like one person that got, like, paid leave for it. I'm like, what?
So, like,
and my uncle robbed a bank, and he got 15 years, and he murdered somebody, and he gets paid leave? Like,
that's, yeah. So, like, what pisses me off is that someone like George Floyd, suspected of having a counterfeit $20 bill, something as simple as that, hurting no one, absolutely no one, gets killed in a street, like, gets killed by a cop, and someone who raped women gets 6 years in prison. That's all he, like,
That's it?
Yeah, with, like, any... Really? This man suspected for having, like, a fake $20 bill.
Which ended up being, like, a real $20 bill, too.
So, he did nothing wrong. Died. Because the color of his skin, because they thought he was a thug. And I'm having quotation marks up. You just can't see them, but a thug, you know? And it just... It sucks.
It sucks. We totally completely what riots stand for.
What they stand for is we're trying to make change in the world. We want the policemen to pay for their crimes. We want so ACAB, all cops are bastards.
Oh, that was all cops are bad.
No, it's all all cops are bastards. They're corrupt. They're all corrupt. It's
like we get like not all of them are, but it's like they chose to join join a workforce that is inherently like very bad and corrupt.
Yeah,
and like even if they joined it for the right reasons of protecting other people, it's like
well, you've heard people trying to defend the cops as like, oh, they're just a couple bad apples, right? Well, if you don't pick those bad apples out of the bunch, all of the apples are rotten.
And also, I saw one video that was like talking about that. It was like, if like a company makes like a new car brand or new car thing, if one of them malfunctions, one of them messed up, they recall all the cars that they put out. So if one like car lineup, whatever, if one was bad and they take out all of them, why don't we do that for people?
Yeah.
Like, I get, like, it's not, like, destroy them.
No, I get, but we should.
Like, if, like, there's something bad, there's obviously a problem in, like, the workforce and whatnot.
And there's also the problem with, like, people. Like, people are not born racist. It's taught. Because we've seen videos of mixed babies, like white babies and Mexican babies and all sorts of babies playing together, and it's the cutest fucking thing ever.
Babies are so cute sometimes.
Yeah, and now, like, what, 30 years later, they hate black people? Like, it's not...
we're not born racist. It's, like, definitely something that's taught through, like, parents or whatever, you're, like, wherever you live or whatnot. It's taught. And that's, like, one of the things that, like, it's almost, like, kind of the worst part of it, is that it's taught. Like, whoever raised the child or where they grew up, if they are racist, is because somebody taught them that.
Yeah.
Which means, like, it was probably, like, stoppable. Like, there's probably a way for that to not happen. But it did.
Yeah.
It's like,
And so, and one thing that, like, I understand, but I don't think we should be doing is destroying property, because we should be destroying property of racist people, like racist companies. For Target has, like, come out and said that we stand with, like, black people. We stand with the Black Lives Matter. And we'll rebuild the Target in Minneapolis, right? Yeah. But it's like, we didn't need to burn the Target down if they stand with us. Yeah. We should burn down, like, I don't want to say Chick-fil-A, but, like, we should burn down Chick-fil-A. I mean, I like Chick-fil-A, I know I shouldn't, but, like, their CEO is very...
yeah, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Their CEO is very, homophobic. Yeah. And so, something like that. I don't know of any brands that are racist. Do you know of any brands that are racist? The White House?
Oh, burn that down. That should be definitely goal number one.
Oh, that's another thing. You didn't hear about it. This is what I was going to talk about. There was a riot in DC last night. Yeah. And there was a 5-hour period where it was silent. No posts on any social media. They were just gone for 5 hours. It was a big riot or protest or whatever, and all of a sudden for the next 5 hours, no one heard anything of anyone. And there's been a bunch of bots on Twitter saying that they're okay, like, from those, like, they're bots though. Yeah. They were made to say that they were, like, okay to like, pretend that they're actual people from the DC protest, but no. And then Trump came out and said that, oh, everything's fine in D.C., that everything was peaceful, and there was a lot of arrests made, so, and, like, D.C.'s fine. But it's really weird because there is something shady going on there.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden,
Just
5
nothing.
hours straight, nothing is heard from anyone during the riot last night. And so Anonymous came out and said, something shady's going on there. We're gonna dig some shit up.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get to. I was going to say something about Anonymous. We'll get to.
We'll
that
get
later.
there. Yeah,
But
we'll
real
get there.
quick, one thing that I want to say about like the riot thing before I move to the next
Yeah.
topic, because we keep on going off
Yeah,
topic.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's also my fault. It's like like I understand the riots just because like it has been going.
Oh, I
like,
do. Yeah.
Just because it has been like it was definitely like building up,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like the George Floyd incident was like the tip of the iceberg, and so it's like I get why people are rioting, and I think that's like the only reason why I'm not completely against it, just because I understand where it's
Oh,
coming
I do
from.
too.
I do. It does suck that it has led to rioting, though. But also, almost every like movement or like big movement for equality has required a riot, or has like held a riot of some sort. And so, I view it as like this isn't different. It's something that like for some reason like has to happen for people to like listen. Like there's the like. Stonewall, there's the Revolutionary War,
Boston Tea Party. We were joking about the Boston Tea Party before the podcast, so that's why we were like, haha, Boston Tea Party.
The tax is too much.
The tax is
throw it in the ocean.
This tax is too much for this tea. We can't pay too much for tea. Throw it in the ocean, and we'll have free tea. It'll be iced tea.
We have cheaper tea. No tax for tea.
No tax.
I'm so sorry.
You know.
Okay. But yeah, it's like I don't know. It sucks that has resorted to violence, and it's like I wish that it didn't have to be violent, but
It has to be like you have like in this society, in the way we became a country, we have to fight like violence with violence. We have to fight fire with fire. So if policemen are gonna be killing people of like black people, Mexican, Native Americans, whoever,
Yeah,
just
people of color.
people of color. If they're gonna be killing people of color, we have to fight back and be like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, it's like we try peaceful protests, but it's like then like there's people that are peacefully protesting, then it's like undercover cops that are starting mess, and then it's like also apparently there's like white people and like white supremacists that are also starting mess, and then black people get the blame because it's supposed to be for Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Like, bruh, just it sucks that like there literally had to have been a riot for the cop to go to jail. And and it's like for third-degree murder.
It's not even like, oh, he killed them by accident.
Yeah.
You do not kneel on someone's throat for 8 minutes and kill them by accident.
Yeah.
That man did
like,
it on purpose.
Yeah, and like he was like, I can't breathe, you're hurting me. It's like I'm gonna die. And he kept kneeling. And there's like people telling him like to stop. And he kept going. It was not by accident. It was obviously purposeful. Maybe it wasn't like planned beforehand, but he did do it on purpose.
Yeah.
So it at least has to be a second degree murder.
Why did you have to kneel on him for that long?
Yeah.
Like, couldn't you, like, if you needed to, there was no reason to arrest him in the first place.
Yeah. It's like you didn't have to kneel on his neck.
Yeah, like...
You could have, like, kneeled on his, like, back, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you need to restrain him, which
Yeah.
I don't think... from what I saw, I don't think he was resisting.
No.
But, like, if you really needed to, you could have just kneeled on his back.
Does an arrest take 8 minutes for you to make? For you to put on handcuffs and get him in a car? Does that take 8 minutes for you? Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, why did you need to kneel on his neck for that long? Like, even if you were, like, obviously, it's terrible. Like, he shouldn't have even been detained by the cops. But if he was, why did he have to die?
Yeah.
Like...
God.
It's just, it's so...
Oh, gosh, it sucks.
And that brings me to another thing, is the violence. Not only... So, during the riots or protests now, people have been, like, there's videos of people just walking. All they're doing is walking and literally getting beaten by cops or getting detained or getting arrested for being in the protest. And that is our right.
Yeah.
There's
like, saw videos. It's like, these cops should be going to jail because they're violating, I think it's the First Amendment, is it? Or like one of the amendments for like right to a peaceful protest.
Yeah.
Which is what they're doing. And then cops are like shooting like rubber bullets and throwing tear gas. Like again, the one that happened here, somebody broke into City Hall and set a fire, which apparently was like white people or like white supremacists, something like that.
Oh my.
But yeah, like they apparently had to throw tear gas to like disperse of the crowd. Yeah. Which that one, I guess, kind of understandable, just because they did break into City Hall and start a fire. But it's like, also, why use tear gas?
So the thing is, there has been peaceful protests and people are doing peaceful protests. Why don't you let them do a peaceful protest and arrest the ones that are
like starting fires and like destroying
stuff?
Yeah,
like you don't need to arrest everyone. You don't need to arrest someone for walking down the street peacefully. Yeah. That is our right. These streets are not the cops. They're not the government's. They're the people's. Yeah. We can walk down them and protest against the cops. That is our right.
That's our right. It's like, dude, I hate it here.
I know, it sucks. And it's like, did you see a video of like the people from the UK protesting? They were all peaceful. They're chanting Black Lives Matter. But since they're British, they're like, Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
That's so great.
I know, it's funny, but it's just funny. The accent is so funny to me. Black Lives Matter! Matter. And I'm like, that's so empowering, but also matter! Matter! I love British people.
I love British people.
Black Lives Matter!
Honestly, that's what we should be chanting.
Yeah. Black Lives Matter! Okay. This brings me to my first article. Fighting fire with fire. Our founding fathers fought for our independence. And this is from a website called The Atlantic. There'll be a link below for the website, or for this certain article. So our founding fathers fought for our independence. Phrases such as live free or die, give me liberty or give me death, and rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God, echoed throughout the nation and continue today. Force and violence have always been used as weapons to defend liberty, because, as John Adams once said in reference to the colonist treatment by the British, we won't be their Negroes. Which, I don't know.
That's what John Adams said?
Yeah. Well, everyone...
Wait. I was about to say, John Adams. I'm sorry, Hamilton. That's back in, like, the 70s.
I thought you were going to say 70s. I was like, the 70s, Yasmin?
That was back in the 70s, right? That was back in, like, the 1700s.
Yasmin, you need to go back to history, dog.
Yeah, right. That's back in the 1700s. So, yeah, I guess that's... Wait, but... we won't be their Negro.
We won't be their... But, like, what I'm saying is that, like, we've always fought...
Yeah.
For what we want with violence. We've always fought with violence. Like what you said, Stonewall.
Yeah.
It was, a thing that we had to do.
I guess, like, violence and, like, riots have always been, like, a thing for people to fight for what they believe in. And even though, like, violence in itself is, like, sucky and, like, kind of what this whole country is based off of.
Okay, so I like this line in the article. If violence is a political language, white Americans are native speakers. But black people are also fluent in the act of resistance.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
Me feels empowered now.
Yeah, baby.
What's up. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. And this article basically says that in America's history, Americans have fought for their freedom with violence. So why can't black people do the same?
Exactly.
Like, why can't black people do the same? Because of American patriarchy, throughout American getting their patriotism, black people were denied patriotism. They were like, no, we get to be free. We get to be free. Fuck you guys. You guys
go back and pick that cotton.
Yeah, exactly. So why is it that white people can fight for their freedom, but black people can't fight not to be killed in the streets?
It's like, white people threw a whole riot because the tax on tea was too much. And then when black people are like, hey, we're tired of police brutality and getting murdered for no reason. They're like,
shut up! Shut up! You know, white people can protest quarantine, but black people actually protesting something good? Shut up! Shut up! Get down on the ground! Exactly.
You go in the jail.
Exactly.
It's like, that's like one thing. Oh my, because there's actual protests of people protesting the pandemic as if they can just stop it from yelling.
Yeah,
as if, no, we don't want to wear our masks. We're not living in a communist society.
Yeah, okay. Well, their whole thing was that being quarantined at home goes against the constitutional rights, and it was unconstitutional to be locked in their house.
And you're not locked in.
You're not locked in.
It's please stay away from people.
Yeah.
We advise that you stay inside.
Yeah.
You can't, they're not forcing you to stay inside.
They're not being forced, no.
Why?
You just can't,
There's just a lot of stores that are closed.
Yeah.
But,
you can't go inside of a lot of stores. So what? You can't spend your goddamn money? Oh, boo-hoo.
Oh, no, I can't buy that new Versace purse that came out.
Oh, my God, I can't go inside to In-N-Out.
I can't. I hate it here.
I hate it here.
I can't walk inside Wendy's. Riot. Yeah, there's people actually rioting and shouting at white people rioting and shouting at police about this quarantine, the pandemic, and they are doing nothing. But then when black people are walking down the street as a peaceful protest, they're like rubber bullets, tear gas, stop them. It's like what?
Oh, and then Trump, basically declared war on the people.
Yeah, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. It's like, I hate you.
Yeah, dude, come on. Come on, dude.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on. Come on. I dare you.
I dare you.
Dude.
Actually,
I'll throw hands. I don't care. I will go to prison. I will go to prison if I had the opportunity. I'll punch Trump in the face.
Damn.
And then I'd be okay with going to prison.
Legally, this is satire.
For legal
reasons, this is satire.
For legal reasons, I am joking. For legal reasons, this is that what I just said was a joke.
Yeah, legal.
This is a joke. Government's like, open up.
The FBI, open up. Ladies and gentlemen,
no.
We got him.
I can't be put on the watch list. My brother's already on the watch
Yazmin.
list.
Oh my god.
Did I tell you about why?
No, I know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So yeah, if white people can fight for their freedom, why can't black people?
Precisely.
Exactly. Oh, and then also the article just goes on and says that, the author of the article, the author of the article just is like, I just had a baby, but I really want to go to the riots, but I can't because my baby. And I'm like, just bring your baby. Not that big of a deal.
Bring the infant.
Okay, that's messed up. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Bring the infant. I don't know why that's such a funny statement.
Yeah.
Bring the infant. Just bring the baby with you.
Just bring the baby
Let
with
the
you.
baby shout and protest.
Exactly. But anyways, so this is a really good article about, she backs up, why we need to be violent, in our riots and our protests. So if you want to go read it, it's really good. I like this website, The Atlantic. I've read a couple articles, and I like them, They're pretty cool. So it'll be in the description down below. And, so my next article is about the First Amendment. So our First Amendment is the freedom of speech. We're allowed to share our opinions.
Some people
shouldn't.
Yeah, and some people take the freedom of speech as a way to be, I don't want to cuss. a-holes.
Oh, I've been cussing this entire time. If this
That's
isn't
true.
for school.
Dude, you're right.
This is for us.
You're right. All right. Some people use the freedom of speech to be assholes. Which they shouldn't. Like, your freedom of speech, you can say whatever you want. It's like, yeah, I guess. But, like, that doesn't mean you should be an asshole.
I know. Yeah, freedom of speech is... Anyone can say what they want. You know? We're allowed to share our opinions. We're allowed to converse about our opinions. And we're allowed to fight about our opinions. If Yasmin thought caramel was good, and I hate caramel, that's between us.
Caramel is good.
I hate caramel.
I know you do.
Is absolutely... Did I... This is off topic. Did I tell you a man bought me chocolate yesterday? A teacher bought me chocolate yesterday.
A teacher?
I didn't know him. He was just a teacher. I was working. And we have these, like, square chocolates right next to our registers. One of them was caramel. One of them was sea salt or whatever, right? And he goes, which ones do you like? And I thought he was just asking for a recommendation.
Yeah.
And I go,
As everybody would think.
Right? And I was like, I don't really like the caramel. So I usually just eat the blue ones, which was a lie. I've never eaten the blue ones. I just don't like caramel. So he buys it, and he's like, has it right there, or whatever, like on register. And then he gets his stuff and pays, and he goes, that's for you. And I'm like, thank you. Oh my God. I was like, thanks. That made my day. I'm like, that's what's up. That's what's up. Anyways, totally off topic. So freedom of speech. Trump wants to take away our freedom of speech.
Because he's being a little bitch boy about it.
Yeah, because Twitter fact-checked him, and now he's convinced that Twitter is trying to basically sway the polls or something.
Yeah, he was like, they're trying to, change the polls.
They're trying to rig the polls or something.
Yeah,
So
it's
now
like...
he's trying to get, like, social media banned, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, it's our right to have the freedom of speech, so let us have the freedom of speech, man.
It's like, we're sorry that you're wrong, but maybe you should just think before you tweet stuff.
Yeah, think before you tweet.
And it's so stupid that he's on Twitter.
Right?
That's like the one thing that's always irritated me about anything he says on Twitter, is the fact that he's on Twitter.
It is the fact that he's on Twitter. Like, go.
What are you doing?
Shouldn't you be like...
You are president. Shouldn't you be like, I don't know, dealing with the pandemic,
Yeah.
signing bills, trying to keep people safe, not being like, Twitter fact-checked me.
Yeah.
Gotta ban people from talking back. Like, what?
Right? So the government cannot strip all Americans of their right to assemble, even if some demonstrations are violent. So that means, fuck you, government. We can do what we want.
Even if they're violent, we can still do it?
Yes, of course. That's the right. Yes.
That's the... What? What the
Well, as long as we're peaceful, they're not allowed to fight it with violence. I think that's the way it is. Don't quote me on that. But if we're violent, they're allowed to use force.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, and this article just says, like, in ancient times, during, like, actually not ancient times, the 18th century, and the British Crown.
The ancient times, when the British... Ancient times, the 18th century, you know how it was.
Basically, we're saying that if you wanted to protest in the 18th century in Britain, you couldn't, because if there was a group more than 10 people, or 12 people, sorry, they could legally kill you. And their officers could have immunity.
And there's more than 12 people?
If 12 or more subjects of the king assemble, any royal jack in office could read them the Riot Act, which basically said if the crowd did not disperse within an hour, the authorities could disperse them by force, and officials were granted immunity if any of the rioters were killed, maimed, or hurt. And then they were saying that anyone who would be arrested could be hanged. So obviously... our time...
Things have changed.
Yeah, things have changed for the better. And yes, we live in a pretty good, society. But, like...
it can definitely be better.
It can definitely be better. And that's what we're always fighting for, right?
Yeah. We're always fighting for things to be better than it was before. Because before it was absolutely horrible. Like, as you just read, the group of 12 or more people... hang them, kill them all. It's
Kill
like,
'em all.
what?
Yeah.
It's like now, like, wow, we're allowed to abandon more than 12 people and not die.
Exactly.
But now they're doing it again.
Yeah.
They're going back.
They're doing it.
It's rewind time. Hey.
That's hot.
That's hot.
Love Will Smith.
I
Hey,
love-
Will Smith, if you're watching.
Will Smith, if you watch this, we love you. That's hot.
Oh, just for everyone to know that me and Yasmin found out that the crow that lives outside my house says all lives matter. So we know that the crows are racist. Never trust the crows.
Never trust the crow.
Except if you're Brandon Lee.
Only one.
Only if you're Brandon Lee.
So, all, ACAB, all cops are bastards? No. You guys are all wrong. It's all
crows are bastards. Nice.
Nice.
All crows are bastards.
All crows?
But I like crows. That's the thing. I like crows.
I have mixed feelings about them because
I love them.
off topic. When I lived in golden apartments, they'll be like crowing at like 5 a.m. and then they wouldn't stop until like 10 or whatnot.
I know, they're the
like,
same here.
It's like, shut up, let me sleep.
Yeah, they're the same here.
I know. It's like
I only like crows because of The Crow, the movie, The Crow.
I've never even watched The Crow.
Oh, it's so good.
I've been meaning to.
You really need to watch it.
I guess I will.
Good.
I'm heading out.
Anyways, now that we established that Yasmin's a loser,
Whoa! You take that back right now.
you gonna make me?
Uh,
What's that gonna do, bruise me? I know I have an iron deficiency, but it's gonna take a lot more than just a slap to hurt me.
I got that you can see none of that. They started light slapping noise. You talking mess. And then
Oh my
so
god.
great. Wait, real quick. Wait, are you done with
It just basically tells us, that, for a while in old America, which isn't that old, I just like to say
ancient
times, that the government used to own the streets, but now things have changed, and now the people own the streets, and we're allowed to protest peacefully or violently. We can do what we want.
We can do whatever.
We can,
Kind of.
we can't rob banks like your uncle thinks.
Sadly.
I know.
My uncle sees this. He's like, hey,
Hey.
can you take that out?
But yeah, it's just basically saying that it's in the amendment. It's the First Amendment that we're allowed to do this, and you can't take that right away from us.
Yeah.
And just whoever is old enough to vote. This is my personal opinion. Don't vote for Trump if you're old enough to vote.
Okay, so earlier we're talking about the crows and all lives matter, but I did want to touch on that real quick. People that replied to Black Lives Matter with all lives matter. I'm so glad you're not a sociopath. Like, yes, all lives matter. Dumbass.
But right
it's
now,
like right now,
we should be focusing.
it's like right now, a lot of people don't care about Black lives. Like, a lot of people at the moment are like don't really care about Black people or like Black lives. So that's why it's like more reiterating Black Lives Matter. Not only Black Lives Matter, but Black Lives Matter as well. And that we should really be focusing on Black lives because we're going through a lot.
Yeah.
We're going through a lot of troubles at the moment.
Going through shit right now. I'm in a bad place. Not mentally, but physically. I live in the U.S.
I
live in the U.S.
Yeah, it's like...
Bro, have you been watching Avatar?
I've been meaning to, but
Bruh.
then I was going to,
The
and then my
police-
Wi-Fi turned off, and I was like, God damn it!
So, get this. Someone said that the police is the Fire Nation.
Oh no. And then the Fire Nation
attacked.
Why is
Damn,
that funny?
that's too real.
It's too
too
real.
real.
Too close to home.
Too close to home. Bro, okay, but honestly, Prince Zuko?
It's fine. I've never watched Avatar. I've only seen pictures of him and like some like short clips. I'm like,
Damn, Prince Zuko kind of fine though.
apparently he's like 5'3" or something like that. Like apparently he's like
Even
hella short.
better.
Like, dude, he as tall as me though. We have the same height.
Exactly. Damn.
You're taller than Prince Zuko.
don't matter. It's Prince Zuko. It's Prince Zuko. Did you know the voice actor gets recognized at Starbucks because they're not like, obviously you don't know how he looks like, but they're listening to his voice and they're like, Prince Zuko?
I saw a TikTok of that,
like
but it was like an animated.
Yeah, I saw the same one.
Are you
Prince Zuko? I love Prince Zuko. What are we talking about? Okay. Real quick. Anonymous,
if you're watching, how are you? Are you okay? Well, I guess all of you, because there's multiple. So, I hope you guys are okay.
Hey, Anonymous.
Don't.
Anyways,
Anonymous.
other than simping for Anonymous, they're back. I mean, I guess everyone online was like, they never left. They were just silent. Like, okay.
Yeah, apparently they're like silent for like 4 years, I think.
I don't know.
Oh, they're silent for like a while, and they came back and they're like,
Yeah, because I think the last time they were here was during the elections.
that's
Yeah.
a while.
So, yeah, they're gonna start airing out a lot of bad cops laundry. That's what they were that's what they were saying. And they want to overthrow Trump. They want Trump to leave.
Which honestly, I'm here for it.
But apparently they're also transphobic. I don't know. I've seen screenshots on like Twitter saying that they're transphobic.
Well, there's like a million of them or something.
I know,
so
that's
I can
true.
imagine not all of
Not
them
all.
are.
Some of them
Some?
probably, but not all of them.
Just like I was thinking about it, I'm like, damn, what if some of the like anonymous people are like racist and they're like, I mean, I don't want to. But
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, damn.
You could be dating someone from Anonymous.
You could be dating.
You could be dating.
Dude,
Okay.
you could be dating Anonymous.
So now that we have established that Anonymous is back, let's go to our next point.
Okay, so beautiful transition as we never went off topic once. We're just talking about Trump, I think, and we're going to Trump's healthcare bill to put LGBTQ lives at risk. This is uploaded by The Breeze, and I will put the link in the description below. This article was posted, when we're recording this today, which is June the 1st.
I like how you said that. June the 1st. Not June 1st. June the 1st.
Yeah, nothing. June the 1st of 2020. The White House, or at least Trump or whoever at the moment, they're trying to change Affordable Care Act to repeal important non-discrimination and human right protections. And yeah, it says in recent years, the Trump-Pence administration has worked to pass a bill that would allow doctors, hospitals, insurance companies, and other healthcare institutions to refuse service to LGBTQ citizens on the basis of discrimination. And it was the bill was made public in May 2019. It hasn't. I don't think it was passed yet, but it has been public thing since May of 2019. And the proposed changes will remove gender identity and sex stereotyping from the definition of prohibited sex-based discrimination, which basically means that someone who's transgender or doesn't conform to sex stereotypes can be denied service in hospitals and whatnot.
So a doctor, that's a weird one because, I understand there's at a certain point you have to understand that sometimes you make people like someone like me who doesn't really conform to either stereotype, the girl or boy. At some point you're gonna make someone uncomfortable, and that's just the way it is. And for a transgender woman or a transgender man, it sucks because you can have if this passes, you can have a doctor you just want to be treated for something say your foot hurts.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what's wrong with my foot? They could be like, I'm not going to treat you because you're trans, and that sucks.
Yeah.
But to some extent, I understand because some people are like, oh, I just don't feel comfortable treating a transgender woman.
Yeah.
And that sucks, but
that one, I understand. They're just they just don't really know.
Yeah,
but there can be some people that are just overall just transphobic. They're like, no, I'm not treating you because I don't. I don't agree.
I understand if it makes you uncomfortable, because it does make some people uncomfortable, and
because I feel with every change or something that's new is going to make a group of people uncomfortable, just because a lot of people don't really like change or things that are unknown to them.
like,
which sucks.
Yeah, I will understand, like, a doctor refusing care if they feel uncomfortable because they don't know how to treat that certain
if they don't know how and they don't want to, like, mess up or do something wrong.
Yeah.
That one is understandable.
Yeah, but if you're gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna treat you because you think you're a woman. No. Well, first of all, honey, I am a woman.
Yeah. First of all, sweetie, I am.
Yeah. Just because my birth gender was a different gender and what I actually am doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's like, I identify as a woman or a man, I am a woman / man or whatever gender that you choose to choose. And
choose
whoever you guys choose to choose.
You choose to choose.
The article also says, in 2017, an NPR poll revealed that... Say nice.
I love NPR.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
NPR is a radio station.
Oh!
They're great.
They sound like a radio station.
They are.
Hey, it's 101 NPR.
NPR here.
NPR.
They're really cool. They're very, like, down with the people. Like, they present stories
about... down with the kids.
Not really. Not the kids. It's basically for old people.
Oh.
It's basically... I mean, I like to think of them as very liberal. They like to present stories of, like, from people of color, and a lot of their stuff is, like, people of color kind of, like, representation. It's great. I like them.
That's what's up. What's up. But, their poll revealed that 22% of transgender people avoid going to the doctor in fear of discrimination, and furthermore, 31% of transgender Americans said they had no access to healthcare at all. And if this bill were to pass, those statistics would definitely go up. Yeah. If now, like, people have the right to discriminate against transgender people in the hospital, which is so messed up.
Yeah.
It's like your hospital. You went to, like school, and then more school, had to pay thousands of dollars of student loans and tuition, and then now you're a doctor, and you're like, no. Like, what?
What?
Like, what? You literally, this is your job.
You trained for
that.
Your
job is to help people and keep them safe.
I thought you said kill people.
Your job is to kill people.
Damn. But, like, so obviously, I'm against whatever act they want to pass, right? Because we should make it easier for people to gain access to healthcare, right? We should be taking care of our people. The government doesn't care about our people. I think no government does. But, like, it sucks because now you are only favoring the rich. You are only favoring the whites. You are only favoring a certain group of people, and that it goes against everything that, like, our country was supposed to be built from. We were supposed to be every man made equal. Well, except for black people. But, I mean...
except for minorities.
But, like, if that statement should hold true to this day, we shouldn't be still fighting against, like, healthcare acts.
Yeah. It's healthcare. That should have definitely been, like, one of, like, the most, like... One of, like, the first things that we got right. It's like, we got you. Even if it's crappy healthcare, even if they're like, listen... We could take off $10 of your $1,000 bill. And if it's something crappy like that, I feel like healthcare should have definitely been something that's, like, accessible to everyone.
No matter
what, no matter your gender identity, your race, religion, whatever.
You know what's terrible? Is that
the government.
Well, yes, but the people who are fighting against not giving healthcare to a certain group of people are the same people who were saying that abortion is a terrible thing and abortion is murder. How come abortion is murder and it's such a terrible thing, but a cop killing a living man is not as terrible?
Like,
he did it on an accident.
That was an accident. Yeah, it's like... Yeah, was that, like... I was, like, seeing on Twitter, like, a lot of, like, pro-choice people have been real quiet.
Yeah, right?
Because, like...
Quick editor's note, Yazmin meant pro-life instead of pro-choice. Pro-life is against abortion, and pro-choice is for the choice of being able to get an abortion.
Yeah, because, like, now what's your argument?
Yeah.
Like, killing a clump of cells, murder. Killing a black person, What y'all say?
What y'all say?
Y'all burned down Target? Fuck y'all. Like,
Yeah. Did you hear about the girl who was the woman who was stabbing people?
Yeah.
At the Target?
I saw also that, like, she wasn't actually disabled.
No, she wasn't. She could walk.
It's just...
There's a video of her walking and stabbing people and getting in that wheelchair.
Yeah.
And then she was blocking the fire. So this is so weird to me.
Yeah, that's so big.
This is
fire
so...
extinguisher. It's
well,
like...
no. What? This is... I don't want to say it's funny, but she was... Well, it's not funny that she was stabbing people. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
She was stabbing people, and then she blocks the fire exit. Then she got beat on. Like,
Yeah.
People beat the shit out of her.
Which, like, yeah.
She was stabbing people, yeah. This is the funny part. That she came out of there and was, like, crying. And she was like, people threw things at me. People threw water at me. People did all this to me.
Stabbing people!
We're stabbing people, lady. Like, what? I just don't understand.
I don't get it. Like, bruh, she was stabbing me. She's like, people were, like, hitting me and throwing water. It's like, you were trying to stab you. It's funny because, like, the video itself is, like, kind of humorous in a way because she's, like, in a wheelchair trying to, like, stab people, but they just, like, back away and she's not moving because she's trying to block the exit. She just... It's like, what, lady, if you don't...
Right?
Tips over wheelchair. If you don't... Get out of the way.
God. But, yeah, everything is just crazy right now, dude.
Yeah.
What's crazy is, again, going back to the topic, is fighting violence with violence. Like I mentioned before, there has been multiple instances in our history where we've had to fight for our right to do something, or right to have something. Like Stonewall.
Mm-hmm. And luckily for you guys are in for a treat, for I have an article about Stonewall. Well,
Nice!
Kind of. It's a late... the article is titled "Ladies in the Streets Before Stonewall Transgender Uprising Changed Lives." This was... Oh, dude, guess what? This article is posted by NPR.
NPR? Dude, that's what's
NPR.
up. NPR, be like everyone's allies. Except
NPR.
racists. Dude, I want to get a shirt that says "fuck racists."
Well, that would be cool. NPR really said Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
That crow out there, though.
That crow?
Really
That crow
really
outside
said
my
all
house.
lives matter.
Have you seen that video of the girl who was like in the middle of a protest? She was like, someone just got punched out here for saying, someone said Black Lives Matter, some girl said all lives matter. She straight up got punched. And she's like, I'll do it again. Yeah.
I love that.
Me too.
I'll do it again.
And I'll do it again.
Honestly, I hope they do.
Yeah. I hope she does.
I hope she
It was
does
so
do it again.
funny. She was like that the girl who said all lives matter was knocked out. She was on the ground, passed out. She got knocked out. Dude, yeah. Have you seen the video of the guy? There was these people in a car and they were like saying, oh, Black Lives Matter or whatever, and they were like protesting down the street. And this white guy on his bicycle called called them like N-words.
With a hard R?
I have no idea. I didn't hear it, but I know he called them an N-word, and they straight up all got out of the car, and this one guy punched him so hard he hit his head on the back of the building and just fell, and he was sitting like this for like a straight minute, and he like tried to get up and he couldn't. It was the funniest thing ever because like he got what he deserved.
Yeah, it's like, what
It was so funny. Anyways.
Look at people fighting for our rights. Anyways.
Speaking about fighting violence with violence, Yazmin has a great article about Stonewall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of about Stonewall, but it's mainly about this other riot that happened before Stonewall. That's a little bit less known.
But it's still about riots and still about fighting violence with violence.
Mm-hmm. And also, because it is June, which is indeed Pride Month. Your phone vibrated. Which is indeed Pride Month. And so, yeah, look at this go. In 1966 in San Francisco, there's a riot that happened in Gene Compton's cafeteria. And it was a 24-hour eatery where a lot of drag queens would go because it was one of the few places where the, like, discrimination and prosecution wasn't as bad as like everywhere else, although it was still bad because it was the 60s. And what happened was that the management would call the cops at like night to get the drag queens, transgender women, and hustlers out. Like, they'll call the cops to make them leave because the management didn't really want them there. I don't know. So one time, one of the policemen grabbed a drag queen, and so she threw a cup of coffee in his face. And the cafeteria erupted, according to Susan Stryker, a historian who directed Streaming Queens. And apparently the cafeteria just erupted. A bunch of people just started like fighting off the police. It says drag queens swung their heavy purses at officers. Outside on the street, dozens of people fought back as police forced them to paddy wagons. It's just such a
Paddy wagons.
And the crowd trashed a cop car and set a newsstand on fire. And another quote from St. James, who told Stryker, the historian, they said, "We just got tired of it. We got tired of being harassed. We got tired of being made to go to men's rooms when we were dressed like women. We wanted our rights," which is a great parallel to what's happening now.
Yeah.
It's also, people have been like fighting for like equality and rights for so long.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
And what's crazy is that the president wants to take that right away from us. The minority group, when the minority group speaks out and wants to be treated equally as everyone else, he's going to take the First Amendment away. Like, really?
Sir, stop it.
You really going to be playing favorites and leading a country right now?
It's just...
Like, you can't do that. You have to listen to all the people. Everyone. Because everyone has the right... Everyone has the right to be here.
Like, our country's supposed to be, like, based off, like, freedom, you know? It's, like, there's only so much freedom when America's, like, based on, like, straight white men are superior.
Yeah, and it can only be, like, the First Amendment can only go so far, because you say that we have the right to speak out, like... Us as American citizens being born in America, we have the right for freedom of speech. And you are trying to take that away as soon as we speak out. You are trying to silence us. And we are not going to stand for that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah,
period.
It's like, that's just such a dumb move for Trump to try to do this. Because if, let's say it passes, everybody's already mad. Like, okay... people who aren't racist are already mad, right? And then he tries to take away, like, freedom of speech. Now, all of these, like, other people that are, like, really pro-America, now they're going to be mad as well. Because, maybe not about the same thing, but they're still going to be mad about the freedom of speech being taken away. Yeah, because now we're all mad.
Exactly.
And we're all going straight to the White House.
Exactly. Well, because
we outnumber them.
The freedom of speech is the, like, white, like, the racist kind of, like, I can say it. I can wear MAGA hats because freedom of speech. And yes, that's true.
Yeah, I just say the N-word. Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech. I can do whatever I want because freedom of speech. Which is, yes, it's true. But it's also just like, it's kind of like some parts of it is socially unacceptable to say the N-word because it's freedom of speech. Like,
just like how it's like socially unacceptable for you to do that. Just like how it's socially unacceptable for you to date and like for you to date your cousin. Yeah, it's socially it's legal, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't. There's just some things that are like legal, but you know, and like everybody knows that you shouldn't, but people still do it anyways. It's like, it's just because it's legal doesn't mean that you should. I feel like a lot of people forget that. Yeah, it's like a lot of things are legal, but you shouldn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's our heavy episode that hopefully Karima doesn't have to cut too much out of it because we're being too dumb to actually focus on our topic.
There's like a huge part where she has to cut out, which I think is funny. Yeah. Like, sometimes like the middle-ish end, I don't even remember what we were talking about.
I just remember the Dan Schneider thing.
Dan Schneider.
We're gonna listen to that song.
Yeah, we have to.
We're gonna listen, not on the podcast, obviously.
But we can't do on the podcast. Yeah, we make cuts on the podcast, but we can't.
But that's only because we're not under authority anymore.
Yeah.
Fuck the school system.
Fuck the school system. We should talk about that in one episode.
Oh, about this, yeah. Anyways, that's gonna conclude our episode. I really hope that whoever is listening enjoyed it. I really hope that it wasn't too all over the place. I know me and Yasmin can go off topic sometimes and jump back to topics, but I really hope that someone enjoyed it, and I really hope Karima enjoyed it, because Karima is the MVP.
Karima is the OG. We love her. She should be president.
She is the main reason this podcast exists. She is the backbone of this podcast.
She really is the backbone of this podcast. We just act
like idiots, and she makes this podcast what it is. Yeah. So shout out to Karima. I love her.
Love her. I hope everybody stays safe.
Yeah.
If you guys go to protests, please make sure to do research on what to bring in case things do turn south.
Yeah, make sure to always cover your face. Just try to make sure to cover like known features like hair colors. Make sure to always be covering your face. Try
covering distinctive things that people can distinguish you by, like tattoos, hair color, as Sarah said, and also keep watch for undercover cops.
Yeah, also,
I think as far as, I'm not sure if they've changed it, but from what I last heard, they wear like a blue wristband or something like that.
Yeah, also you can always look out for their back pocket. If they have anything in their back pocket, they always have handcuffs. Yeah.
Ooh, kinky. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But if you bring your phone, obviously you're going to bring your phone to a protest. Just make sure that you always have it locked. Don't have the Face ID. Don't have the fingerprint.
Turn off location on all apps.
Yeah, make sure that... And always, if you're going to take pictures or videos, make sure to take it always when your phone is locked, because your... what's it called? The cops can make you unlock your phone with your face or your fingerprint, and... can delete all your stuff and arrest you because of that. So make sure not to post if you're going to a riot.
If you do post, make sure that you blur anybody's faces that you can see, so that way nobody gets in trouble.
Yeah. So that concludes our episode, and we love all of you. If you're a racist,
we don't love you.
We love you less. All right? Just don't be racist, don't be homophobic, and we love you.
Just let people by.
Don't be homophobic, don't be racist, don't be a pedophile.
Please don't be a pedophile. Please.
Anyways,
hope you guys stay safe. Hope you guys have a good day. If today's not good, then I hope tomorrow is at least a little bit better.
The crazy times in America. Just stay safe. And that concludes our podcast, and we love you.
Love you.
Goodbye.
Bye.